What's going on, guys? Josh here. Welcome back to Around the Diamond. Before we get into today's video, I just wanted to make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure to go ahead and check out all of our other videos on this channel and check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, that's basically it. And also, like I said, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So today's video, I just wanted to go over the possible MLB expansion. So the NHL is going to be having their expansion draft for the Seattle Kraken next week, or it's like under a week now. So that's going to be really fun to watch. Big hockey guy too. But I wanted to go over the possibility of what would happen if the MLB had another expansion, just like the NHL is. And so first of all, possible locations that they're talking about having an expansion team in, because this stuff has been resurfacing for a while now. It's not like I'm just pulling this out of anywhere because the NHL is doing it. The MLB is actually talking about expanding. It's just how they're going to expand. So 5 possible cities have already been named for expansion, those being Nashville, Montreal, Portland, Vegas, and Charlotte. Personally, I think Nashville or Portland would be the best way to go. Portland is interesting because it gives Seattle at least another team up in the Pacific Northwest. Seattle has the longest schedule for travel at any other team. They have to travel 5,000 miles to even get to the next team they have to play all the time. So that is a long amount of travel for the Mariners, but also teams that have to go up to Seattle to play the Mariners. So I think Portland would really help out because Seattle and Portland, I think it's like a 2 hour, like an hour and a half drive from each other. So that would be helpful because there would be another team at least in the Pacific Northwest, so that would cut travel for teams because they would travel to Portland and then they would go right to Seattle. Nashville is also another interesting one. There's been rumors and stir-ups for talks that Nashville might be getting a team, and I think that would be interesting because, Nashville already has the Predators in the NHL and they also have the Titans in the NFL, and I think the city can definitely support an MLB team. They do have a AAA team there, don't they? I believe they do. I believe they do have a AAA team, or they did have a AAA team, or something like that. I think they had a minor league affiliate there. But I think Nashville could be a really big baseball town. We've seen what the football team can do. The football faithful down in Nashville are huge. And now with the Predators' past success, we've seen that those fans are into it. They're crazy. They support teams. And Nashville could definitely support a team. That would also bring people into the city for tourism, obviously because of country music there. But also they've been, hey, let's go see a baseball game as well. It gives them another opportunity to get people into the city. And also would give St. Louis a rival because Nashville and St. Louis are pretty close, and Kansas City as well. And that would be an interesting team, I think, to bring in. I think Nashville or Portland would be the best options moving forward. Other cities that they're talking about expanding into is Montreal again. Montreal is a big if for me, and I think the MLB also should be a little hesitant of going back into Montreal, even though fan support is still there. Expos gear still sells like crazy, but still, they need to learn from other leagues, such as the NHL when they went to Atlanta twice and failed. What if they go to Montreal? This isn't hockey. The Habs rule Montreal, so what if another major league team comes back to Montreal and gets supported for a while, but then shit ownership happens again, they lose out on the team again. So the thing is, they have to have strong ownership, but they also have to have the faithful fans that are going to be there every single day and supporting the team, because if not, it's just going to be another failure for the MLB. And obviously you should always be hesitant of going back into another city that didn't support a team the first time because of what the past has told you about teams that have struggled there originally. Vegas, I have starred because I believe, yes, Vegas can be an expansion team. Obviously, we've seen it in the NHL, and now the Raiders moved from Oakland in the NFL to Vegas. But I think that's what they're going to have to do. I think the Oakland Athletics are still talking about moving to Vegas. I don't think Vegas could be an expansion team. I mean, they can be because of what we've seen in the NHL, but I think it'd be smarter if you just move a team into Vegas instead of giving them a whole expansion team again. I think just relocating a team would be better. But if you do want to give Vegas an expansion team, go ahead. The NHL is successful, and I think the MLB could also support a team there in Vegas, because Vegas is trying to grow. And with the amount of tourism that's there, I think baseball could be a decent amount. The only thing is, baseball is a little different. 162 games. I mean, the locals will probably support the team because what we've seen out of the Raiders and the Golden Knights so far. But baseball is kind of a different game than hockey and football, right? Hockey and football aren't that long of a season. Baseball, 162 games. The grueling heat outside. Are people going to support that baseball team, even though there is a team in that area before? And I think they've done pretty well. So I think Vegas, it would be just smarter to relocate a team like the Athletics to Vegas instead of just giving them an expansion team, in my opinion. But you guys can let me know what you think about that in the comments. Charlotte, yes, people want baseball in Charlotte. It would be pretty cool to see, obviously, because North Carolina does not have a baseball team, which is kind of mind-boggling to me that Raleigh does not have a baseball team. And I think Charlotte could also support one too. They have a lot of minor league baseball in North Carolina, and I think they could support a team for sure. It's just, in my opinion, Nashville or Portland should get a team over Charlotte if they do. But if they do want to start expanding more, Charlotte could be a team for sure in the future that maybe gets a team, maybe throw them in the NL East. Yes, that would be pretty crazy to see. The Braves Charlotte rivalry, that would be awesome to see. All right, so now I just wanted to go over possible rules for an expansion draft if it did happen. So these were the past rules in the last expansion draft in 1997 when the Diamondbacks and Rays entered the league. So as you can see here, 15 players were protected from each team from the start, completely protected off the list. And I think the MLB does that again. Each team submits their list of the first 15 protected players. They're protected no matter what. And then they have 3 rounds for the expansion draft, just like they did in 1997. So after each round, you pick, I think the team had said they picked 14 players in the first round, 3 and 3 after that, or 7 and something like that after. So after each round again, a team can go back and protect 3 more players after each round. So the teams pick, like Nashville, let's just say, they pick some teams. They look at the things, so they're looking at guys like, let's just say an expansion draft happened now, and the Washington Nationals did not want to protect Max Scherzer, so because his contract is up at the end of the season, because he is a free agent, and free agents do not need to be protected. So that is also a very good thing. So they say, you know what, we're going to move on from Max Scherzer. I think what he's done for this organization has been great, but I think it is time to move on from them. And now Nashville is coming into the league, and they're saying, well, you know what? We want to be competitive from the start, and we think Mad Max Scherzer could help us out with that. So they go ahead and select Max Scherzer because the Washington Nationals do not need to protect him because he is a free agent. So, let's see here. Also, after each round, protect 3 more players. So a team, they can pick any minor league player not protected. So anybody in the organization that is not protected, the team can go and pick. And as well as they can pick anybody on the 40-man roster that is not protected. So again, let's say the Cubs this time, who was I going to say? Anthony Rizzo. Again, why not? Rizzo, unprotected. Cubs don't have to protect him because he isn't going to be becoming a free agent at the end of the year. But he is also on the 40-man roster. So they don't have to protect him necessarily. They think, you know what? We want to keep a guy like Chris Bryant. Instead, they don't trade him. We want to keep Chris Bryant. We kind of try to re-sign them. So why the hell would we keep Anthony Rizzo when we have younger guys coming up? So we'll protect our younger guys, but Rizzo can be unprotected. And again, a team like Nashville or Portland can get themselves a very good first baseman just like that. And I think that would be the smart way to go. That's what the NHL did in the last expansion draft with the Vegas Golden Knights, that a lot of some star players were unprotected by teams because they wanted to keep their younger guys that were over the service time in the NHL, and they have to protect them because that's the future, right? So you saw guys like Marc-Andre Fleury from the Penguins getting picked up by the Vegas Golden Knights because Pittsburgh thought Matt Murray was a better option at the time because he's younger, and he also just won back-to-back cups. So it's just how it goes. So I think the MLB could do the same thing, because if you're going to bring an expansion team in now, it long gone in the days of the expansion team just sucking for years and years and years and fans getting frustrated. I think now, from a business standpoint, the leagues, if you're going to pay that money as an owner, you want your team to be successful from the start, because you just paid a crap ton of money, let's just say upwards of $1 billion to buy this new expansion team, bring all this merchandise in, hire the staff, build the stadium, do all this. You want to make sure that your team is going to be as competitive as possible in the first year to bring in revenue that you just lost from spending on this team. So I think the MLB now and leagues around North America are saying that, yes, long gone in the days of the expansion team sucking for years and years and years. It's time for them to make them competitive from the start, shake up the league, force other teams that have bad decisions to regret the bad decisions that they made. So yeah, one more thing I wanted to go over as well in the expansion draft rules in 1997. So before from this one, any player with no prior major league experience cannot be protected, cannot be selected. So let's just say they drafted a kid, hasn't even played in the majors yet. And I think it also had to do with the minors too. I don't know, like if they have no experience, like if you just sign an 18-year-old, they can't pick that 18-year-old. They can't do that. So they would have to pick someone else from the list. But yeah, so those are the rules for the expansion. I think for last expansion draft, and that's what happened also before in the 1992 expansion draft. So I think the MLB does the same rules, or they might be able to switch them up a bit and try to make the team a little bit more competitive than they are. So like I said, the rules could change for the new expansion draft, but it would make sense to keep the same, in my opinion. But like I said, if the MLB wants the team to be competitive out of the gate, you're probably going to want to change the expansion draft rules a bit, because people are probably going to be trying to protect, well, obviously they're going to protect all their star players, and then the free agents don't have to be protected. They weren't going to sign them anyways, but also the free agent can be selected by that team, but then he says, no, I don't want to play for your team, and re-signs back with the team that he does, because people do that. So yeah, if an expansion draft does happen in the MLB, I was just thinking about this, would be a cool idea. And like I said, Nashville or Portland would be the teams I would want to bring into the league from this day forward. And yeah, just let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. I think this is an interesting topic, and I hope in the future that the MLB does bring in another expansion team, because the NHL's bringing in another expansion team. I think the NFL is talking about expanding a bit more too. The NBA could possibly expand it again as well. And I think the MLB does not want to be caught in the mud like people have been saying they are, because, you know, it's an old school league. They don't want to change, let the kids play, all this and that. I think expansion would help the team tremendously, the league tremendously. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. And other than that, it's been Josh, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.